The presentation seeks to answer the question where to find CARIFORUM case law. And before I begin, let me point out that the case law is specific to the English-speaking territories, and also the subject matter is primarily on trademarks. As in my research, I found no case law for geographical indications, and this may be because this area is still emerging. So what will be covered today? We'll be looking at the main sources, which are, in our instance, law reports, and for the unreported decisions, websites and fee-based databases. Then we will take a brief look at one case once time permits. So the main law report in which I found cases when I was doing my research was the West Indian reports. And these are published by Butterworks LexisNexis. They are a series of reports of cases decided in the high courts and the Court of Appeal of the West Indian states. And they also provide Privy Council appeals. So the three cases I found were from three jurisdictions: Guyana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. The Guyana case was heard in the Court of Appeal, and that one dealt with the registration of a wordmark Jello. That was way back in 1976. The Jamaica case, another Court of Appeal decision in more recent 2017, and that dealt with the registration of trademark 3M and device. And the Trinidad and Tobago case that was reported was a High Court decision in 1972, which dealt with infringement of registered trademark. The other law reports where cases were found to a lesser extent included the law reports of the Commonwealth, one case, a Jamaican case from the Court of Appeal, and that dealt with the meaning of disclaimer. And then I also found cases in country-specific law reports, and in this instance, the law reports of Guyana. I found about 7 cases there, and the subject areas ranged from registration, goodwill, infringement, both in the High Court as well as the Court of Appeal. And the years are there for a span from 1939 to 1983. In terms of the court websites, the free ones, this is where you can obtain case law. When I say free, that's what I mean, basically from these court websites. 2 in particular had case law, and one was the Judiciary of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I found 14 cases there, and the cases dated from 1939 to 2018. The oldest one was a Supreme Court decision, and the most recent one, High Court decision. The other court website was the Supreme Court of Jamaica. I found 11 cases there, and the more recent 2014 to 2020, 3M was the 2014, and the 2020, the St. Anne Kite Festival. I must say that court websites from other jurisdictions, Barbados, Belize, Guyana, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, those were also consulted, but that produced no results. And I wondered about it, and I'm thinking there may be several reasons for this. You may find that the cases may not have been indexed to bring up these specific terms for searching, as well as the website itself may not facilitate keyword searching. Other free sites where cases can be found, I found, and I know you would hear more about this one, the WIPO database. I saw Jamaica, a member state there. They had a number of cases generally on intellectual property and about 4 specifically on trademarks. The Intellectual Property Office website, also in Trinidad and Tobago, has a page which deals with judgments, but that particular judgment was not specific to trademarks. So those were basically what I found thus far as it relates to the free sites, so to speak. The fee-based database, the one in particular which had a number of cases, was Justice One. And Justice One, for persons who may not be aware, is a collection of cases. It provides a collection of cases from over 25 jurisdictions, including the Caribbean community. And it also provides the legislation and EU law. And their subject or their descriptions does in fact have intellectual property, and then it's further broken down. You have trademark, and then that is even broken down into some of the other descriptors that I have on the screen: confusion, geographical indications, trademark, registration, and some other areas, brand, design, opposition, and so on. So now I am just going to look at a particular case, and this one is Bailey's Brewing Company Limited versus 501 Company Limited and 2 others held. This case was in the Bailey's Court of Appeal, and the decision was given in 2019. Now, the trademark on the extreme right, which contains the plus sign before the 501, was registered by the claimant Bailey's Brewing since August of 2012. And the company began selling products under this mark on the Belizean market in December of 2017. The other trademarks, you see a lager and a stout at the left, they were registered by the 501 company on the 1st of September 2017. And this company started publicly marketing its products in November of 2017. So the issue arose with, are the 2 marks so confusingly similar to the public that the later one ought to be struck down as invalid and even considered an infringement of the earlier mark? The case was heard in the Supreme Court by the Honorable Madam Justice Sonia Young, and the claimant, Bailey's Brewing Company, they sought a declaration of invalidity on the ground that the defendant's marks 501 were similar and were registered for identical goods as the claimants, and that the mark be invalidated on the basis of bad faith. And they also sought a declaration that its mark had been infringed, and consequently an order to have the products removed and destroyed. So the court found that based on the overall impression, there was sufficient similarities so that there would exist a likelihood of confusion in the public's mind. And for this reason, the later trademarks, the 2 on the left, were struck down as invalid. So an order was made, on at least several orders, and one of them included that the infringing labels and adverts and other materials be erased and destroyed. And another was that they got an order to restrain the company, that's 501, from further infringing the claimant's trademark. So the other slides 10 to 11, I've provided a list of case law and trademarks from the jurisdictions that were found: Antigua, Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago. And that is basically it. This can be shared with the participants in due course. So that's basically my presentation. Thank you very much.